of different videos on financial defense. A lot of people need to guard their finances. So, financial defense is something that very much aware of, and others need to be aware of it as well. So, today we're going to be talking about momentum. It's not going to be a long video. It's going to be very, very short. You need momentum to do anything. You need momentum to get out of bed, okay? Um, you need to get your legs on the floor and get out of bed and start walking. Hopefully you don't stumble when you walk out of bed because you're usually tired, okay? That's how you get out of bed in the morning. You use momentum. Okay, so everything requires pretty much momentum. Some people have more momentum than others. In finance, a lot of things are relative. A lot of things are relative when in the financial world, just like the real world, or you could even just say it cross relates to a lot of different things. So for example, if you look at finance, the financial world like you do everything else, you'll probably have less issues understanding it. Like, for example, money to people is like food. Like, that's our way of getting things that we want, getting goals that we want to achieve, to buy those things that we want to have as far as achieving a goal or something like that. For example, in my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, one of my goals is to basically buy another house, that is like, I would say, in a very good neighborhood. It's a house that is a decent house, like a deluxe style house, like maybe like something, I call them like mini mansions, like something close to that. Like, it's not a mansion, but it's a mini mansion. Like, it has like maybe a 4-car garage attached, four bedrooms, 2.5 bath, fireplace, tri-level. Those are the things that describe my goal. Those are the things that describe that. And in order to get that, I need momentum to get that. To get that goal, I need momentum to get that. Now, I started talking about this years ago. I'm pretty much, I'm like a cat chasing a rat or a mouse. I'm on it. It's close. It's not easy, but I think I can get it before it goes in the mouse hole, or I'll get it when it come back out. I'm on it. So the thing is with momentum, where a lot of people mess up and where a lot of people are jealous of other people, is because you looking at somebody's momentum and you're not knowing that you're looking at somebody's momentum. You're just seeing, okay, they got a car, they got a house, they got a gold chain, or they got, the watch that I really want, or whatever the case may be. You're really not. You're looking at goods and things that this person has, and you might feel some type of way about it. But what I see that you probably don't see is, I see momentum. That's what I see. I see someone. I'll tell you a story. What's going on, Alonzo? Okay, I'll look it up. What I see when I see someone success, I see momentum. I see, like, for example, I'm gonna tell you a story. One of my friends that basically we worked with each other. We helped each other from basically the junior college I went to. I went to junior college, and I worked in a computer lab. And I forget. I've done so much. I literally forget that I've been in IT since 2000. Like literally, no, not even 2000, 1999. Like my first computer job was working in a college computer lab. And I forget that, and it's like I say 16 years, but it's actually it's really over 20 years. It's really over 20 years, so that was my first computer job. But I say all of that to say it's all relevant with that. But where I met my friend, that's where I met my friend, and he has a different momentum than I have. And we had a conversation about that. And a lot of people don't understand that your family is part of your momentum. Your dad, your mom, your grandparents, whatever they worked for in their life, if they're able to do so and generous enough to do so, they will extend their momentum to you, and you should be appreciative of that. You shouldn't be angry if they don't. You're gonna feel some type of way about that. You're not gonna like it, and then you're gonna have a chip on your shoulder when they invite your ass on the Thanksgiving meal about 5 years later after you had some successes and some failures. You're gonna have a chip on your shoulder about it, but you might come to the Thanksgiving, may or may not. But I understand that you might have a chip on your shoulder if your family is not generous. But most people's family, they're somewhat generous, some more than others. But even your family, usually that's where you go off of their momentum, and you try to do better. Like for example, a lot of people don't like I guess T.I. and his son and stuff like that, right? And it's a lot of things. One of the things is T.I. is not really how typical wealthy people are. How they basically make it. Typical wealthy people come from middle class or upper class backgrounds, and then they make their way up. Ti pretty much he came from a lower economic environment and came up, and a lot of people don't like people that came from the slums or the hood or whatever ghetto you want to call it, and they came up and they made money and they still have money, and in a lot of cases more money than the average person, or even people that are even upper class to a certain extent. You might have more money than them. Definitely someone middle class that's going to work every day, and they gotta go to work because there's a difference. A lot of people go to work. Some people don't have to go to work. Most people have to go to work. So the thing is that a lot of times that's where envy comes in, and a lot of jealousy comes in from that, and they just can't wrap their head around how did this guy make this money, because typically people's mindset and their consciousness is that someone that makes money is a certain type of way, looks a certain way, talks a certain way, and T.I. and other people that are maybe from a lower socioeconomic environment, they don't fit that narrative, so it boggles their mind. But needless to say, T.I.'s son is riding off of his momentum, as he should. And T.I. might not agree with, his son's lifestyle or whatever choices he makes, but nevertheless, that's what I'm talking about. And my friend, I told him, I said, hey, your mama gave you a $5,000 credit card. Okay, my mama didn't have no $5,000 she was able to buy the house. But I'm gonna be honest, it's like the butterfly effect. I kind of feel somewhat guilty because it's like I helped her get the house that she ultimately couldn't pay for. When I gave her the advice, this is like 2012. Actually, no, 2009. I said you should just buy a house, cash. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the same concept that I had back then. So that wasn't nothing different, and she had the money. But the thing is that momentum is everything. And if you have the momentum, good. If you don't, my channel is living proof that you can build up your momentum. This is the this is the best place in the world to build up your momentum. It's other places that's pretty good as well, but this is it's a good place to build up your momentum. It's not the most equitable as far as wealth. Trying to get up the wealth ladder is a little bit more complicated. That's why I'm trying to do these videos and stuff like that to give you some financial armor so you can be defensive and go out in the world and try to defend yourself from all of these other people seeking to destroy your capital, take from you, take your purse, take your wallet. This is what you need. You need financial defense. If you never heard it, now you do. So when it comes to momentum, what a lot of times people do is they fall back. They give up. Okay? They give up. One of the things I'll say is when you have children, mostly it's like some kind of like animalistic nature start coming out of you, some animalistic behavior start coming out of you because it's not just you. You have children to take care of. 9 times out of 10, you're going to start hunting more stronger, more serious. If you're of sound mind and body, you gonna go out there and try to hit a home run every day because it's not just you. You have other people that you're responsible for. And God forbid, you don't provide for those children. So they know this. Society knows this. That's why they want you to have children. They ultimately want you to basically have children. I mean, you start tap dancing, break dancing, and rapping at the same time when you have children because you're trying to make it. Okay. Now here's the thing. You said my channel not monetized. Well, that's a conversation for another day. I can talk to you more about that. But the thing is that momentum is why my channel is not monetized. I'll just tell you that. You have to build up the momentum, and I'm doing that. I'm doing what it takes to build my momentum back up. That is pretty much that is that. So yeah, the thing is, the smart people, they don't have to wait till they have children to go out and be like Rocky. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. They don't have to, play the Rocky song in the background to go out and get it because they understand how serious it is. Somebody that grew up in poverty, one of the things that they can't never take away from them or the educational lesson that they get from that, it's not all encompassing, but a lot of people that grew up where they didn't have means or a lot of means, right? They have a certain spirit and a certain drive and a certain hunger to be successful, to be extremely successful because they weren't privileged. A kid that was privileged, that had a meal every night, had clothes, can get money, a little money or whatever from his parents, and can ask both parents at the same time or one parent. Had a roof over their head. They didn't have to worry about sleeping outside or riding. I'm in the Chicagoland area. Okay, one of the things that the homeless do here is ride mass transit to survive. I mean, just imagine that. That's like the Christopher Gardner story, but just imagine how sad that is to have to ride the train all night in one of the richest countries in the world to survive. And that is just a person that has lost momentum. Okay, I've been in a situation where I've definitely lost momentum, and I understand very much so that momentum is everything. Okay, now here's the thing: how can you lose momentum, right? What typically happens when you lose momentum? You get sick, right? One just obvious. Got to throw that out there. You get sick, you lose momentum. Okay, that's where you come in, Alonzo. I don't know if you supply disability insurance. Okay, obviously, if you kick the bucket, you go to the upper room, you know, go see Peter at the pearly gates. You better have insurance so you can basically your children don't have to go. You got some harsh consequences, man. Um, you have your children out here if they ain't got no insurance, and definitely if you ain't picked the right woman, that defeats the whole purpose, because if you pick the wrong woman, even if you got life insurance, they gonna probably blow it. They gonna go buy some Birkin bags and a car, and then your entire insurance basically payout is gone because you picked the wrong woman. So that's more actually important in that regard. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that yeah, you gotta have some type of insurance if you want to have some momentum to pass on. You want to have some assets to pass on. If you no longer here. Now, another thing is you get divorced. Okay, you both were contributing. Now it's just one person. Two people is better than one. Anybody that ever tell you anything different be lying to you. Now, if a negative person or a bad person is around you, then yeah, that's not good, because you got somebody that's no good for you that takes away from you. That's not better than being by yourself. Some people believe that, and whatever cosmic delusional fantasy world they can think of in their brain to make that work. God bless you, salute. Um, you know, but I definitely don't. Comprehension of that is beyond me. But the thing is that usually in a situation where two people are collectively working, helping each other out, and one no longer is in the picture, and then also assets are split or assets are taken from you and given to another person, and you weren't financially defensive to save any money. However, you have to save it. You weren't financially defensive to basically have some type of prenuptial agreement that's standing in court. You are going to have to do things that you got to almost is like a financial burden, where you go have to live with your mama or your sister, or get you a small apartment, and you literally starting over. And I'm gonna be honest with you, those things that I just mentioned is enough to put a lot of people on the 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock news, and that happens. That happens every day. Somebody today, unfortunately, because they know that they're going to get divorced and they lose the momentum or whatever, to them it's like they're going to be poor again, or they're going to be financially destitute. They're just people. This is how they think. Most people that doesn't happen, but some people, that's the way they look at it, and it's embarrassing. And then they either commit, a suicide, or they will even do something called a murder suicide, where they kill the other party involved that they're divorcing, and then it just gets all you know how nasty that gets and how bloody that can get, and it doesn't happen all like as far as like the percentages. I don't know. And that's not even something that I really, I'm not really into wanting to know that. It's like I don't need to know everything. But the thing is that that does happen, and that's a loss of momentum. Now, a lot of times when situations like that happen, it's a situation where the guy, I just speak from a male's perspective, he doesn't really have a lot of money to begin with, or he doesn't have enough financial defense to put his money in a place where it's secure and it's safe, and put his basically assets in a safe, secure way, to where his divorce doesn't make him where he's destitute, if he even have that. A lot of people don't. Okay, again, most people make $40,000 a year. The average is like what, $30,000, $40,000 a year. That's the average. That's half to below. People make 40,000 below, or at least 40,000. Most people. So very few people have enough wealth to go by themselves and go start over or live the same type of lifestyle that they did while they were married. That's just reality. That's just the stats. Divorce does affect people. Now, that doesn't necessarily include, if the woman doesn't necessarily go after you like that, because it is some women that have a brain and a heart and a body, and they don't try to basically sue their husband because they're upset at them, as a way of punishing them. Because a lot of what goes on in this country that is allowed is divorce, and child support is used for women as a tool for financial punishment against men. So the thing is that nevertheless, whatever the case may be, yes, divorce. Just say three. Divorce is a reason that people lose momentum. The fourth is, I would say, just overall your decisions. You decided, okay, I'm not going to do this, or whatever happens, I'm just going to go rob a convenience store. I'm going to go scam cards, credit cards, commit identity theft, write checks from people's names or whatever. That's enough to get you locked up. When you get locked up, that's like basically you're dead, but you're still alive. And again, that's another way people, all of these, except of course, obviously, if you already dead. These are reasons that people, they don't want to go to jail. Like a police officer, a lot of times have a hard time arresting people because they know when you put those bracelets on, or even at the point that they know they got arrested or they about to get arrested, they about to go away. They about to die for about 5 to 10 years, or 2 years, or 1 year, or it could be 30 days. It could be 60 days, because people have whatever they got going on. They have children. They automatically, all that is going to be worked out. You're going to be locked up somewhere. Some people, depending on what happens, getting locked up very much is a loss of momentum. It's a major loss of momentum because you can have a job, job's gone. Some jobs will let you come back. Like I've heard some stories, you know. I say about 60 days. Yeah, job will understand. They understand things happen, especially if you go, you know, if you work well and all of that. Like they might, you know, consider things, you know, file it with HR as a leave of absence because of whatever, you know, things work it out. You know, not all the time. It's not 100%, but definitely that's the first way you lose your momentum. You lose any contractual obligations that you have, and immediately compromise any jobs that you have, any business that you have. If you don't have things set up to where other people can run them, you immediately lose momentum, and that is a major thing. And you know, you think about all of the tangibles with that. Those are one of the reasons that people lose momentum. As far as it's basically the most common way. You know, it's a lot of ways you can lose momentum. So that's typically how that works. And another thing is that you could just be you know, just an idiot with finances. Most people are just dumb with finances. It's not they're not like, you know, sick, or they're not, you know, locked up or anything like that. They just don't have the wherewithal to understand finances. Finances is not just numbers. Finances is your emotions, controlling your emotions, controlling your mind, your mental, controlling your body, controlling even your soul. Like, do you have a soul? Do you actually believe in some shit? Do you have some type of spirit that you know, energy that you possess? Like, are you just some meth taking, drug taking zombie? Okay, all of these things matter when it comes to finance, just like it matters when it comes to life, and that's where you're not taught. You're not taught. That's why you don't want to listen. And then when I talk about things, because I'm very in depth than other people that talk about finances, I talk about things that they don't probably talk about because I know a lot more about other things than just numbers, spreadsheets, reports, and pivot tables and all of that. Like, it's more to it than that. That's why a lot of times people don't want to listen to a financial guy or whatever, because it seems boring, because you think in your mind it's just numbers, it's charts and diagrams and reports and bank accounts and checking accounts and debit cards and credit cards. No, that's why I talk about all kind of stuff. I get grimy, I get ghetto, I get corporate, I get all kind of different ways to understand, to bring to you that the world is chaotic, and trying to manage your finances is chaotic, and it's not just numbers. It's deeper than that. It's just like you are in other aspects. That's how the financial world is. It's literally just like that. It has the psychology when it comes to finances. It's a spiritual element, I would even say, to it. It's a physical element to it, of course. You know, it's a lot of moving parts with it. It's not just numbers. It's not just you got some cash and you go to work. No, it's more to it than that. This is very, very, very deep. If you think that's where you messed up, that you don't understand how deep this financial world is. It's very deep. It's not like I'm telling you some just numbers and stuff like that. Again, money is a people's problem because people create money. Okay, it's more of a people thing. That's why I'm very good, and I've really studied people. I just came up with I just found out a concept of it's called the DISC concept. and it's a explanation of people's personality traits. Like, for example, this explains why you so into certain people that you follow, and they got a big following because this is basically it describes different people's personalities. One of them is influential. I may or may not, depending on my chi and how I'm flowing, I may be influential, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. I pretty much know in that category, in the influential category, I'm not the dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have my moments, and I definitely can be. I can't, I could work on it, but that's why you follow these people because they're very good at being influential. That's their strong suit. So I just learned this shit yesterday. So the thing is that understanding people is how you get those jobs, how you get those opportunities, how you make money, how you be able to be a better salesman, understanding people. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things about, YouTube and different articles and stuff that I read online, you can learn, this is the information world. You can learn a lot of different things. And one of the things that I like to really learn is how to deal with people, how to understand people. A lot of times when you try to meet someone, a lot of women, when they pick up that you're not easily able to be manipulated, they do not want to talk to you. That's one of the reasons they don't want to talk to you because you might appear like you're just some nerd lame that they can manipulate, but when they read you and they sense your spirit, they understand that you're a dominant person that they cannot manipulate. Behind the glasses is a man that cannot be manipulated. Behind the corporate speak is a man that cannot be manipulated.